Good morning and welcome to Cooper Park in Elgin for the second round of the Scottish Rally Champion, the McDonald and Munro Speyside Stages Rally 2019.
He's broke it.
Just under 90 crews would start the McDonald and Munro Speyside Stages, round 2 of the 2019 K&C Groundworks Scottish Rally Championship. Fantastic weather would greet them at the start in Elgin, and what a stacked entry once again. The top 3 teams holding a combined 9 SRC titles between them, headed up by 5-times champ David Bogie.
You know, really enjoy the rally. I think we've won it now 9 times, so it'd be nice to push and try and get a 10th one.
10, easy, yeah? Is that over 12 years?
Yeah, I think something like that. So yeah, it's not going to be easy today, you know, good entry and could be demanding stages, but hey, we'll push on to Sabbath.
Many of us like my age believe you're still about 14 and 15, 16 years of age, but you've been at it for years, haven't you?
Yeah, I have been around a while now, so yeah, still enjoy it as much as I did when I started, so still got the hunger to win.
Form men Ewan Thorburn and Paul Beaton have a new livery on their focus this weekend. They'll be looking to spoil the Fabia party.
No plan really today, we'll just go out and enjoy it, and if that's good enough to get a win then so be it, but yeah, I've got to think of the championship as well, so obviously strong competition again today, so see what happens after the first year and we'll make a plan. As long as dust doesn't play too much of an issue, but yeah, it's good to get back and see some sunshine up here. Stages are always brilliant, the rally always runs like clockwork, so looking forward to it.
Then we have the Impreza of Armstrong and Fair. New overalls for this weekend. Can they bounce back after a disappointing border?
And what about these 2 lads in front of you? They're going quite quickly, aren't they?
They're out for a play as normal, like, but I hope they get into a royal battle and I come out the winner.
I like those tactics, that's good.
Yes.
Behind the top 3 is another incredible list of challengers. Pearson, McDonald, McCombie, Milne, Wink, Binney and Hay rounding out the top 10. 2 runs through Cooper Park would start the event before 3 gravel stages, taking the crews to the first major service of the day. Quickest after the park, Bogie and Round were second fastest in Teenland and quickest in Ardee-Queish. Second again in Mulsack-Burn saw the Fabia reach service with a 13-second lead. And that was over the focus of Thorburn and Beaton. Quickest through Teenland, followed by 2 top 3 times on SS4 and 5. It was on this event last year that Gary Pearson had his big accident. He didn't seem to be too put off, however. 14 seconds down on the focus after SS4, Gary and Dale were quickest through SS5, close to within 7 seconds of Thorburn at service. And that left him 10 seconds clear of the orange Impreza. Jock and Cammy in the top 4 times on all 5 stages and in a perfect position to strike at the podium. The former champ was trying hard.
80 through the dip, crest 80, crest 100, left 1 over crest, tightens to 4, into quick 5, C100, right 160 down.
One of the features of the border was a mammoth battle between Freddie Milne and Michael Binney, and they were at it again. Freddie had 5th place by just 1 second from the red Evo. But Michael had to watch his back too. John Wink and John Forrest were only 3 seconds behind them in the I-20. The second half of the day was going to be tense. Much like Wink, Bruce McCombie and Michael Coutts hadn't seen the end of the border. The Speyside was going much better, despite 2 start line stalls in Cooper Park. 8th after SS5, they were only 9 seconds back from the Hyundai and 4 seconds up on Chris Colley and Gary McDonald. The Watson Evo, another victim of Kielder on round 1. Rounding out the top 10, Marty Scott and Daniel Forsyth were once again shining in these forests. Star Drive nomination on this event last year, they were showing similar form in 2019. But we had already lost Challenger sponsor Simon Hay. Running 10th on the road, he unfortunately found an Evo-sized hole in Teenland, the car ending up upside down, and although there was relatively little damage, it did put him out, as his nightmare start to the season continues.
Yeah, good. Very, very difficult, just with the loose gravel, so trying to keep the car moving forward is difficult at times, but I'm enjoying it.
Are you snow ploughing your way through the loose stuff?
I presume so, it feels like it.
For the guys behind,
yeah, there'll be a wee bit of road cleaning, but to be honest, I've not got the risk of dust, not that it's been a problem yet, so yeah, we'll just carry on as we are.
Yeah, we're going alright. We've had a wee brake problem that last 2 stages where they're binding on, and then they're cooking themselves. So the boys are going to have a look at that just now, but we've lost a wee bit of time with that. But yeah, apart from that, it's alright. It's bone dry and we're trying to push on as hard as we can. So.
Is dust a problem?
Not really. There's a wee wind in it, so it's blowing away. So it's not been a problem so far. So it's quite open the stages as well. There's not a lot under the trees, so it's not affecting us at all really. So
I think we're fairly happy. Maybe didn't have quite the right tyres on this morning for the first couple of stages, but made a couple of changes to the car in the last one and made a big difference. So yeah, we'll see how we go this afternoon. The aim's got to be either podium or higher, possibly 1 step higher on the podium would be good. Yeah.
We just had the telemetry readings there on it, and we just clocked 131. But I would say that was on a kind of bit of a crest. I would say it was more like 126, but that's enough.
Just kilometres an hour?
No, that's the MPH of the world.
Aye.
Old money. Old money.
I would get your computer recalibrated.
I know.
It's 131 no quick.
131's fine, yes.
The second half of the day would produce big drama. But before we get to that, let's take a look at some noteworthy drives. Scott Macbeth had managed to push his Evo into 10th after SS7. Sadly, Balach would see the red Evo retire with transmission issues. After an early visit to a ditch set them back a fair way, Donnie McDonald and Andrew Faulkner's day was ruined further by 4 minutes of road penalties. They didn't go home early, however, staying in the event and entertaining the crowds with some top 5 times to finish 56th. Now, they just need some luck. Championship supporter Mike Motes had his son Michael in the hot seat for the first time. Thankfully, family harmony was not damaged, as they had a strong run to 36th overall. After their disastrous border, Jude McDonald and Michael Cruikshank bounced back big time in Elgin. 23rd overall, a Class and Junior 1, plus the Star Drive Award. The only award they didn't get was Best Improvement in Seeding, losing out by just 1 place to the crew who finished behind them. Jamie McIntyre and Damien Greenall taking 24th overall on Jamie's second Forest event and Damien's first. Not bad for a racing driver used to smooth race circuits. Sticking a late entry in, Mark McCulloch and Michael Hendry had forsaken the R5 in favour of the BMW 3 Series Mark had co-purchased with Ian Haining. With no pressure on them, this first ever rear-wheel drive experience went pretty well as they powered the big car to 18th overall and second in class. A Star Drive nomination and Spirit of the Rally award for the second event in a row were just bonuses after a day of great fun.
Nice and sideways round there.
Another to suffer on the border. Championship sponsor Kevin Crawford and Andrew Stevenson had a much better time of it. Despite a snowplough act in Teenland which saw gravel flying through the roof vent, they took a fantastic 15th overall. Kevin quickly learning how his new car ticks. Eight seconds up the road, Subaru Cup winners Matthew Thompson and Ian Graham had survived a trying day, both rear brake pipes being held together with clamps by the end of the event. 14th overall after a long layoff from rallying was a fantastic result and earned them a well-deserved Star Drive nomination. Top two-wheel drive and 13th overall, Duncan McDonald and Neil Ross were back on form after a rough 2018. The escort crew doing their usual act of entertaining the crowds and driving hard. 12th despite a scary moment with a deer in Mulsack Burn, Alan Dixon and Martin Forrest continued their consistent form from round one. They finished just 16 seconds back from Ian Baumgart and Sinclair Youngs in Pretzer. Another 10 seconds up the road came Keith Morris and Terry Mallon. Keith and Terry saying 10th was about the maximum they expected from the weekend, and it's another solid haul of points for the Evil crew. A further minute ahead, Marty Scott had found himself in a big battle with the similar Evo of Thomas Gray. At the end of the day, the black Evo would lose out to the white car by just 3 seconds. Another good finish for Gray this season, and a Challengers win too. Seventh overall was a great result for Chris Colley and Gary McDonald, finally getting a finish after so many disappointments. 15 seconds would cover the next 4 positions. However, there were a couple of big absentees. First we would lose Pearson and Bowen. A roll in Mulsack Burn 2 saw them drop 10 minutes and they would call it a day. We then lost the rally leaders. Bogie and Rowan set off into SSA at the head of the field before a steering failure would force them out. Unfortunately, they would block the stage, causing a delay, but thankfully no harm was done. Back to that 4-way battle, and McCombie and Coots would grab 6th at the finish. Those stalls in Cooper Park notwithstanding, it had been a very good run for the Focus crew. Just 4 seconds ahead of the Focus, Autolux winners John Wink and John Forrest also put their bad border result behind them to take a solid 5th. The epic Evo battle that had started on the border continued all the way through the Speyside. Trying hard, Binney and Mo would take 4th, just 5 seconds back from Milne and Walsh. Both crews on the edge all day after another great battle.
We had a fairly consistent run, 1 or 2 wee moments, but we got here. So.
But once again, you and Freddie are having a great battle in Evo.
I know. It seems we're just splitting seconds, at the end of each stage. It's and that was me and him both flat to the mat on that last stage, and there was nothing to separate us. So it's awesome.
Yeah, no, it is. It really makes it, Yeah, but definitely. You've now got to take that wee extra step and get ahead of him.
I know. I'm not quite sure where to get it from, but I mean, the second time through Gartley, he took a second out of us, and I actually don't know where he got that from because I drove the socks off the car, So fair enough to him, he's flying.
And it's a second podium for Freddie.
Yeah, brilliant. It was just so tight at the end. It was like 5 or 6 people within 9 seconds. So, and that's where the fun's at, isn't it?
Yes.
So it was so tight, and then really even Patrick, him cool as a cucumber, and at the last stage he was saying, "Oh, I can't believe he was actually getting excited."
All right. So you've had a good day though, because as you say, it was close, so a wee mistake was going to make all the difference.
Yeah.
So there was no mistakes, is that what you're telling me?
Here and there, but I think everyone has mistakes. That's rallying, isn't it? So, but no, we're really trying in the last 2. And
good.
Yeah, so I should have done more prep work now. I just so chaotic life just now. I haven't even done any DVD or notes or looking at that. So it's a good thing we've got Pat with me.
So, is this what you're saying? Is don't prepare anything, don't study, don't look at videos, don't look at notes, just go out and drive?
It seems to work better for me, yeah.
There you go. You've cracked it. So, this is the future.
Hopefully.
Turn up and just drive.
Yeah.
So what's next? Because you've got a big, exciting life ahead of you in the next couple of months.
I know.
Are you going to be out in the Scottish?
My baby boy is due on the same day as Dunoon. So... Yeah, so I'm hoping he's early.
Or late.
Well, even later might not get away, so yeah.
Right 6 in 60. Long right 1 and tight left 6 in over crest. C200 down. That's a tricky one, Tommy. I don't think it's quite flat, is it? No, it's left 1, 150, crest, and left 7 over bump, 80. Right 7, 50.
48 seconds ahead of the Evo, Armstrong and Fair probably did all you could expect, given the spec of the cars ahead of them.
70.
A solid second place, putting their border result behind them. It's on to one of Jock's home events next.
50, right 1, into left 1, right 1 in, 60, left 4 line, long right 2, tightens to 3, no cut, 50, left 1 opens, and right 2 in, 80, crest middle, 200 through the dip, to left 6 in, 70.
We did push, and I tell you the problem is when you push, you tend to overdrive it all the time, and you tend to slide, and you tend to make mistakes, and you tend to get frustrated. So at that point, you need to calm down a bit. So that doesn't often happen, by the way. But anyway,
experience
came okay. A bit of experience, I'm better with the slippy stuff. The dry stuff, to me, you tend to push on a wee bit too much. You hit a spot and then you realise that you're going too fast. But anyway, in the last stage I did kind of wind it in slightly a bit, and it worked out okay for me. So
what's next? Scottish?
buy some more fancy machinery and see them away. But they will be the Scottish.
There's nothing wrong with the machinery you've got.
You're quite right. Yeah, just need to man up a bit, you know.
No, you've got big enough ghoulish. You just leave them alone.
Sure.
Well done, lads. Second overall.
Appreciate it.
Well
Thank
done.
you.
Thanks a lot.
Making it 5 wins so far this year and 2 in a row in the SRC, Thorburn and Beaton were 41 seconds clear at the finish. Although they inherited the win after Bogey's demise, it has to be said they were pushing the Fabia man hard all day. The question is, when will this winning streak end?
So this is our rally leader. He's on all the road, carrying good speed. Nice and neat round there for Ewan.
Yeah, brilliant event. Obviously we had the snow and the ice in the last rally, so it's good to come up here and see some sunshine. The stages have been brilliant, always really good up here, well organised, so can't fault it. So yeah, good.
You kept the pressure on David, who had a wee bleed on you, but you kept the pressure on and it paid off in the end.
Yeah, I think we were 12 behind going into the last 3 stages, but all we could do is keep the pressure on. Obviously he's won the rally a few times, so we weren't going to take that out in a single stage. We just had to keep the pressure on, and thankfully for us, we had a wee problem and we got round. And
really enjoyed ourselves. Turned another wee corner with the car. I think having David there always pushes us on a wee bit more. So yeah, when it came down to having a fight with him, it was good to get back in that fight again. So yeah,
it was a fight at the front, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a good fight.
Even with Gary.
Yeah, I mean Gary's always there or thereabouts as well, and it was unfortunate what happened to him with his wee misdemeanour there.
But cream came to this top.
I wasn't going to say that, but well.
So Thorburn makes it 2 wins, Armstrong takes a first podium, and Milne makes it 2 thirds in a row. The 2019 SRC is starting to look pretty good.
He's broke it.